This is a Hot Pie Media original.
I mean, this one's dumped on you right away. It should be dumped on you. It should be dumped on all of us. Let's do the responsible thing as taxpayers and own the last 20 years in Afghanistan. Let's just try that. Let's try to reconnect for a change, even though we've completely checked out for the better part of 10 years. So let's reconnect. Getting out of Afghanistan, some of us think and have thought from the very beginning. I don't know what percentage that is. I haven't even looked at the most recent polling data, but whatever it is, we disconnected. But there are some of us, maybe a lot of us, that wanted to get out, period, end of story. Whatever we were doing, we arguably shouldn't have been there in the first place. Some of us who took that position early on were called unpatriotic, you suck, hate you hate America, that kind of stuff. So let's assume that a percentage of you, maybe you've changed your mind now, but a percentage of you wanted out. And maybe a percentage of you didn't think we should be there in the first place. And yes, you should care. I would argue it was the right call. Getting out was the right call. And Joe Biden made I would say, again, we can disagree on this, and I think we probably do, but I would say he made the gutsy call that nobody else would make. He made the call to get out. People have talked about it. I think politicians, candidates have conveniently sidestepped the issue because we have conveniently checked out ourselves, and that was even before COVID. But I think he made the gutsy call to get out. He obviously took the job with the idea of getting out. And I think it's the reason why he will be a one-term president. I think it's the reason, but there are a few spin-off reasons of Afghanistan why it's one and done for Joe Biden. You can agree or disagree with that. That's fine. The pullout, as we all know, has been ugly and people have died. Was it incompetent? It looked like it. Was that inevitable? Did it look like that? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that you know. But maybe it was going to be ugly no matter what. But either way, it's got his handprints all over it. His handprints are all over it. And that's the way it should be, by the way. I mean, when you take that job, that's why it eats you alive. When you take the job, this is what you do. He took the job with the intent of doing this. And was it screwed up? It looked like it. And he has to own it. So think about my argument that this is a reason, if not the reason, why he's one term. And it's not just because he made the decision to get out. It's not even just because it looked incompetent and felt disorganized. Whether it's a fair assessment or not doesn't matter. That's the way it looks, and his handprints were on it. But the policy itself is not the only reason why he's a one-term president. Think about his day yesterday. This is an old guy. This is an old guy that took the job, and we were questioning this old guy taking the job before this stuff happened. Think about when you're president of the United States, not named Trump, and you do stuff and you care about stuff and you're not a narcissist, when it really matters, when it really sticks to you, the policies and things like that, war and stuff like that, death and things like that. Think about his day yesterday. His day was the morning he's saluting at dead soldiers and their coffins and owning a horrific catastrophe and having everybody on the planet pile on. And then he ends up talking about a massive hurricane, which is almost to the week that Katrina hit a little over 10 years ago.
In the region, look out for your neighbors. So thank you very much, and thank you, Commissioner. I really think it all works. I'm not supposed to take any questions, but go ahead.
Mr. President, on Afghanistan.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now.
Can you say if there's still an
Okay.
risk of like torture?
Yeah. He doesn't really know where he's going, by the way. He's just wandering around the room. You could barely hear him. Has anyone else noticed that he is getting quieter and quieter and quieter? I don't know that I have a problem with him saying, I'm here to talk about a hurricane, not Afghanistan. It's just the totality of that 30 seconds is exactly why I'm saying he's a one-term president. He is aging in dog years, and he doesn't have that many dog years to go with. I don't know if you can fully appreciate the video. And you can say, well, you're just picking away at this. Really? Tell me you don't notice. Don't notice how quiet he is, and don't notice how stressed that guy is for good reason.
Look out for your neighbors. So thank you very much, and thank you, Commissioner. I really think it all works. I'm not supposed to take any questions, but go ahead.
Mr. President, on Afghanistan,
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now.
can you see if there's still an
Okay.
acute risk? Is like
Okay.
a cluster?
Where am I going? I don't know where the door is. Yikes. I'm okay with the decision to get out. I think it's a gutsy call. I think it's the right call. I don't even know enough military wise to say it could have been done any better. It feels like it could have, but either way, that's what it does to you right there. That's what it does to every president not named Trump. He's getting it from every direction. That's the way it should be. That's the job. He made a tough call, and he has to own it, and he's dealing with it. I think it was a stretch before this, before COVID, before Afghanistan, that Joe Biden could not only run again, but win again. I think it was a stretch even under good circumstances, of which when you're president, they're really not, and you're not named Trump, they're not any good circumstances. The job is just brutal all the time. So there's two reasons why I think it's the beginning of the end, beginning of one term. And then we can debate about whatever else that means. I'm just saying that if you just take a snapshot of this day and time, a lot of us forget during a time of Trump, you forget what the job, the policies, and the policies sticking to you, and the effect of policies, and the impact of criticism, and all that weight of the world has on you. I think we forget, because we lived in a world of a narcissist who didn't even seem to care about anything except himself. So we get to see it weigh on somebody. Take a look at the last several presidents not named Trump and tell me they don't age in dog years. That guy's had a brutal, it wasn't just a brutal day. It's been a brutal week, and it's not going to get much better. And he's 100 already. So, number one, he did something the president should do. Okay, here are the two reasons why I think he's a one-term president. He did the things the president should do, and it gives all of us a way to keep score. He's trotting out policy, meaningful, measurable policy, and we get to keep score. That's the way it should be. You sell us on a plan, you execute the plan, we judge you, and this one looked pretty awful, and he's being judged. He can't deflect. You can't. When you're not a narcissist, a complete narcissist, you can't deflect. So he has to own it. The fact that we can barely hear him now tells me he's owning it. It looks like he's owning it. That guy is shrinking in front of us. It's the right policy, but the wrong execution, and he's haunted by it. And the Fox News crowd will not let it go. I don't think anybody will let it go, and I think that's okay. But the Fox News crowd knows here's how to beat him down. Here's how to try to seize something and make it stick to him and wear the guy out, and they will not stop. It'll be pretty relentless. Number two, the job ages everyone not named Trump. Just take a look. Young, good-looking people take the job and look like hell when it's over. Okay, so it ages everyone in dog years, not named Trump. Trump didn't age because Trump is such a narcissist that he found a way to spin everything to be about him, and he seemingly doesn't care and has no policy, so nothing sticks to him. He has no conscience, my opinion. That's why he didn't age. He may have gotten fatter, but he didn't age. Because he can't think that far ahead. He has no policy and he has no intellect. Hey, every guy can relate to this. You're tired of wearing those baggy cotton shirts that feel like you're wearing curtains. There's a difference. In fact, I'm wearing the difference. That is the ultra premium basics from goodlifeclothing.com. You'll love the shirts. I've been searching for a long time, like every guy, for the perfect lightweight shirt that looks good if you're in pretty good shape. It's at goodlifeclothing.com. Check them out. You'll see the difference for yourself. You'll feel the difference for yourself. It's the perfect shirt for this time of year in Austin, Texas. So, two things. Go to goodlifeclothing.com. You get a 20% discount if you enter the promo code JeffWard20. That's goodlifeclothing.com. Enter the promo code JeffWard20 or stop by their store domain Northside. You'll love the difference. You'll feel the difference. It's the perfect fit for a guy that's in good shape. It's goodlifeclothing.com, promo code JeffWard20, or stop by their brand new store at Domain Northside. So it didn't get to him. I don't think he knows how to feel guilty about anything. I'm pretty certain Joe, saluting at those caskets, knows exactly the weight of that decision. Him snapping on the day of a hurricane tells you the weight of that decision matters. He's aged 5 years and 2 days. And maybe the evidence one day will show it was the right call, but the mental and physical stress seems to be too much for him. Okay, so then you've got that part. I think this, if you just take that snapshot, this is the one-term president. This is all the things that just make you one term. At times have changed. Media's changed. I don't even know if somebody wins 2 terms because you have to do stuff like this. But besides that, okay, let's take him out of it. Let's remove him for a second, and let's just take the reaction by all of us to what has happened. The intellectual dishonesty is maddening. As usual, we are intellectually dishonest. On one hand, at least we're paying attention to Afghanistan. I think it's mentioned more times than it's been mentioned in 15 years in the past 4 days for all the wrong reasons. One reason good, getting out, the rest bad, people dying. But at least we're paying attention again. At least it matters again. What is difficult to tolerate is everybody acting as if, well, I never wanted to leave anyway. Wait, what? This is not just on Joe Biden, this argument. He's going to get the hate, and that's what comes with the job. And he's going to get a heavy dose of the hate, and that's just the way it is. But we've had 20 years of having no plan. Has anyone else noticed we've had 20 years of no plan? We've had 20 years of mere just every now and then a mention. I mean, Trump even did it. Trump even said, I want to get out, I want to get out, I want to get out, and then nothing happens. So we've had 20 years of somebody every now and then mentioning, let's just get out. I mean, I don't know what this is doing anyway. We spent more than $1 trillion. So we've had no plan. Seems like we've had no plan. If his was a terrible plan, what was the other plan, by the way? I mean, people are saying, well, I didn't want to be there. A lot of people are saying, a lot of people in office are saying, the Fox News crowd is acting as if they wanted to stay. I mean, it's disingenuous at best. The reactions are disingenuous at best. Where were all the critics a year ago? Where were critics 3 years ago? Where were critics 10 years ago? Hell, where were critics 18 years ago? We all have skin in the game, and it may kill old Joe. It seems like it is. But our negligence needs to be owned. And it may be true that the exit was going to be ugly no matter what, but it does seem ridiculously incompetent. So here comes the piling on. You want perfect examples of the piling on that will not let up? That I think all of us all along should have been asking these questions. You know, the stuff that really matters when you're president, the stuff that matters. Here goes Lindsey Graham on Face the Nation. No one watches Face the Nation that is under the age of 85. But his comments live on. Lindsey Graham. Well, number one, I wouldn't have withdrawn. I would have kept the counterterrorism forces on the ground. He goes on to say, the chance of another 9/11 just went through the roof. These drone attacks will not degrade ISIS. We've turned our back on our allies. Who's going to help us in the future? And when we set the conditions for another 9/11, wait, we did? What have you been doing the time you're in office if we have another 9/11? What is it you've been doing? Mitt Romney didn't miss his chance. He's on CNN's State of the Union. This did not have to happen. You can't, as one party, end a war, he says. It takes two parties to end a war. The Taliban and the radical, violent jihadists in the world haven't stopped fighting. The war is not over. Oh, okay. By the way, when is it over? I see. You now want to mention the war's not over. When was it? Could somebody ask him? When will it be over, sir? Is 40 years enough? Is 35 years? Is $10 trillion? What is the measurable goal here? Notice how everybody's now coming back in, and you've all conveniently avoided defining when it's over. What is winning? I don't know. We lost. Okay. That's maddening. That should be maddening to everyone. All right, how about this? Here comes Mitch McConnell with 5 necks. How about this guy? By the way, these 3 men, how often have they been talking about this issue in the past year or 2 or 4? Where were these takes a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? Donald Trump said he wanted out, so where were these guys to pile on and say, hey, man, don't do that, do this? They didn't even mention Afghanistan until now. Mitch McConnell says, we went there to prevent the Taliban from having a regime that would allow terrorists to reconstitute themselves and hit us here at home. It's been a success. Wait, what? Oh, a year ago, would Mitch McConnell have said that our time in Afghanistan would have been a success? Would he have said that? Did anybody know that he said that? Did he utter those words? 2 years ago, did he say that? 5 years ago, did he say that? 15 years ago, did he say, it's been a total success? Huh. Okay, then he goes on to say the policy was working. Did Mitch McConnell say that a year ago? The policy was working. Did he mention this a year ago? Did anybody bother to ask at any time in the past 17 years, hey, buddy, what's the policy and how do we know that it's working as taxpayers? This is the maddening part. Oh, it's killing Joe. Joe's done. But to jump in now, and you can pick him apart and he can get ripped to shreds over, and anyone at the Pentagon can get ripped to shreds over how that looked and how it's going to work out. All that stuff is fine. It's fair game. What is not okay is your political heroes and your jackass Fox News crowd piling on, acting as if, what did you blow that up for? Everything was working so well. The fact that everyone has passed on this issue for the past 5 years and now is saying, well, why are we doing this? It's going okay. And no one, and I'm sure the host of these shows, has tried to challenge these people on, okay, you said it was a success. What was that definition of success other than $1 trillion?
From the Hot Pie Media Studios in Austin, Texas, it's the Jeff Ward Show. Listen at jeffwardshow.com.